What's going on, my dudes? This is Mr. Garner and this is Math Time with Mr. G. We're going to talk about absolute value functions and how do we solve for a variable that's in an absolute function. So the first thing we have to ask, what does absolute mean? Absolute means how far from zero is something. So what I have to do is I have to make a 0 on my timeline. And if I put 5, how far is 5 from 0? It's 5 units. Also, if I put -5, this is still 5 units from 0. It's just 5 units from 0 from the left. This means that no number in an absolute value can be negative. So for example, if I said the absolute value of 5, that is 5. It's 5 units from 0. That means that the absolute value of -5 is still 5 units away. So how do we solve these? Because this 3 could represent 3 units to the right or 3 units from the left, we have to rewrite this absolute value twice, once for the positive and once for the negative. What I do is I rewrite the inside exactly the same, and then the equal to I do as positive and a negative, and I solve for x. The two numbers I could plug in for x, absolute value, and get them to 3 are 2 and -4. What if the absolute value is not all by itself? Well, first we would have to add 7, divide by 2, then the absolute value would be by itself. Then we could split it into 2 equations. So now that we have the absolute value all by itself and equal to 4, I can do a positive and a negative, keeping the inside exactly the same. So a number I could plug in for x that would get me back to 1 is 7 or -1. So there's only one special case that is involved with solving for absolute values. So I'm going to solve this and get it down to just the absolute value and its equal, and I'll explain what makes it special in a second. So now I have the absolute value all by itself equal to a number, and this says that it's -5/3 away from the 0. And it can't be negative steps away. It can only be 5/3 away to the left or 5/3 away to the right, but can never be -5/3. Alright, if you guys have any questions, hit me up in the comments section. But other than that, be kind to each other, ask lots of questions, and think deeply.